Hey everyone, the numbers are in for February 2022 for Aqua in Panama City Beach. I'm Craig Duran with the Duran Group over at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. Let's get right to some of the numbers. I want to show you what's happening in this crazy market. Real quick, what you're looking at here is our tracking February. The couple of slides I'm going to show you just to underscore the intensity. There's an extreme amount of demand still. There are very tight supply. Buyers just don't have very much to choose from. Let me just show you a couple of data points, then we'll get into pricing. The number of active condos for sale in the condo market right now, look at this, is all red. It's down 40, 42, 52, 49%, 56%. This is comparing it to last year, which was already a very good market with tight supply. We have half as much supply this February as we did last February. The number of new contracts is slowing down. We're writing 17%, 10%, 17%, 24%, 19% fewer contracts. There are fewer sales happening. Part of that is directly out of, hey, we just don't have as much stuff to sell. If we're down 56% in inventory, but we're down 10% in contracts, you can still see that the supply and demand thing is very good for sellers. This chart, again, I won't delve into this too much, but the one thing I would stress, we've been under 1 month of inventory for the last couple months. February jumped to 1.49, meaning that there were more units came up for sale. Look, there are 96, but there's something going on over at Shores of Panama right now. There's some things coming about the structure. 52 units are for sale in that building. So when you go back to this and look that there are 70 listings on the market right now for Gulfront condos that are the newer condos, take this away. 52 units are at Shores of Panama. There are only 18 newer condos, 1 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, efficiencies in the entire beach today for someone to choose from. That's how little the supply is. We look at pricing specifically for Aqua. This is just from February. Unit 505 closed at 628. Well, first thing to notice is there are no 1 bedrooms. There's no 1 bedroom activity. If you have a 1 bedroom and you're thinking about selling, you could do really well. It's a good time to push the market on pricing. I'm going to show you an example of that next. But just some straight data for you. 628,000 closed on 2 bedroom unit. On 05 stack. 638 also closed 05 stack. 207 asking price is 837. It's under contract. That means that 837 was the asking price. We don't know what the sales price is yet. 1805 is asking 850. The recent sales are 638 and 628. They're asking 850,000 for that one. I'm working on 603. Asking price was 998. We have a very good solid contract on that one. 2 bedroom 999, 1511 is asking 999,999. 1403, a 3 bedroom now asking right at $1 million. 1611 is asking 1,024,000. We're working on one on 1902. Asking price on this one's 1.229 million. I can tell you that there have been some extremely strong offers on this. I can tell you 1.15 has been put on the table. So extremely aggressive pricing there. 1201 asking price is 1.295 million. Real quick on the $1 million somethings. I think part of what's happening in the beach right now is that the market is trying to figure out if some of these units are worth $1 million. We have one at Calypso right now, a 1,498 square foot unit. Asking price is 1.349. There is an extremely strong contract on that one. Very close to asking. 1.195 is on the market over there and has some action on it. 1902 here at Aqua is getting a lot of action on it. We're working on something over in Long Beach, believe it or not, over $1 million. And so you're starting to see this is where like any market, when you're trying to break through some pricing, there's always going to be resistance getting up to that point. And once there are a couple of closings at that, the market is going to understand or could understand that yes, these are $1 million things. So it's sort of what's happening with a lot of these asking prices over $1 million and not a lot of contracts there yet. It'll be interesting to see once one or two of these close if the market opens up to that idea. One thing I want to stress or remind you about how real estate agents price units. And this is just going to stress that if you are going to work with an agent, use a professional that understands this stuff. We're taught when we get our real estate license, it's like 60 hours of class or 72 hours or whatever it is. We're taught very, very little about how to actually price something. We're taught a lot about consumer protection and a lot about contracts and things like that, but there's very little discussion on how to appropriately price something for the market. There certainly isn't much discussion on understanding different market fluctuations and things like that. But the basics that we're taught would be, hey, real estate agent, look at the last 6 months of sales. Try to find some sales that are pretty comparable. In the condos, it's pretty easy to do because you're dealing with the same floor plan, same kind of concrete boxes. But go back 6 months, find a few sales, see how they compare. Is the AC newer or older? Is the furniture in better condition? All that kind of thing. They don't even talk to you about demand for floor height, view, any of those, rental history. And then they say, okay, once you look at that, that's where the appraised values will come in. So talk to a seller about, okay, here's where you can possibly price a unit. Let me give you an example of what I'm seeing happen a lot. Just over Eclipse, so just last week we did this. I pulled recent sales, only going back 60 days to talk to a customer about this. Our recent sales over there are 425,000, 450,000, 455, 460, and 460. So for this same floor plan, in writing on paper, what we have, 460,000 is closed. Very traditional way to price this in real estate would be, wow, the market's a little bit hot. An agent who really doesn't understand how hot the market is might say, well, 460,000 is the top of the market. Maybe we could price it at 469. Maybe we could price it at 475. Ooh, let's get a little aggressive and maybe price it at 479 or 485 because the market's so hot. We priced it at 5.25 and got a cash offer on it. And we didn't even have to get it out to the MLS to do that. I'm curious if we got it out to the MLS, if it might have even gone higher than that. But 525, so what is I can't do the math, $65,000 higher than recent sales. And we're talking about recent sales from the last 60 days. That's what's happening in the market right now. Make sure what I'm anticipating, buyers, as we roll into beach season, especially this beach season, you're hearing all these reports that this is going to be one of the busiest seasons for travel because of getting past COVID and things like that. Rental numbers, rental projections, and rental reservations are really, really strong. The same thing is happening with buyers. Buyers are super emotional any year, any March, April, going into beach season. We always have buyers emotional about the purchase. They're getting ready they can get ready to use it. They can get ready to rent it. And so buyers this time of year will pay a little bit more than they might in September, October. In a year like this, when you have all these other things happening with very little supply, maybe travel opening up for the first time in a long time for a lot of people, all those things happening, that's the reason, or one of the reasons why you're seeing 460, 460, 460, and 525 possible. And in fact, I think the market's probably being held back a little bit because you still have some sellers and agents pricing it 470 or 475 when these numbers were attainable. They're not attainable on all units. They're only attainable on the ones that are in excellent shape, in the good buildings, those kinds of things. But just keep in mind that it's possible. And it has a lot to do with marketing too. You don't just take a couple pictures with a cell phone and say unit for sale and put it in a Facebook group and have 15 offers. You have to package up the marketing. Great videos anymore are really, really helpful to not only explain the unit, but to explain the area. The kind of reach you can get if you're a really good digital marketer, you're reaching thousands and tens of thousands of people. So if you have that kind of exposure to the market, you're going to find the person who's going to pay the most. If you just whisper, I have a 1-bedroom condo at Aqua for sale, there's plenty of agents who have buyers for that. There are plenty of buyers interested in that. but do you have a strategy to be able to negotiate multiple offer situations, get it to as extreme high of a price as you can, and then close that contract? You have to make sure you're working on, there's things that you have to, as a seller, remove from the contract, and promises that you need the buyer to make to be able to close a deal at 5.25. The appraised value for that for sure is going to be 460, 470, 475. So to get that to closing, there's a lot more things going on there to have a successful closing on that. So anyway, rant over. I hope this helps you. I'm talking really fast because I've got to do 12 more of these, and there are a lot of contracts going on. I've been selling real estate for 19 years, and I haven't seen it this intense, and the opportunity for sellers who do want to cash in. Just 2 weeks ago, I personally, just one agent, I wrote 13 contracts in about a 7-day period totaling $13 million. That's the kind of activity we have in this market right now. So in the condo market, again, remember, end of May, June, July, August, it's very difficult for us to show units because so many are rented. Sales volume usually slumps. September, October, those same buyers want to come back into the market and buy something, but they're not quite as in a hurry because they have a little bit of time. Beach season doesn't kind of roll back around. And then this year in particular, we're wondering what's the market going to look like in September, October? What's the economy going to look like? What's happening in the world in September, October? Will our prices potentially flatten through the summer because of a lack of sales volume and then take off again? They've done that the last 2 years. We've seen years where they breathe a little bit in the summertime, and then it's time to correct or fall off or somewhat as more people put units on the market, and then the buyers are more scarce. It's going to be interesting to see this year. Again, sorry, I know that's 12 minutes of rambling and running, but I hope this helps you. Aqua is still one of the premier buildings that people are looking for. It's close to Pier Park. The architecture is great. The floor plans are great. The amenities are great. So a well-run building. So all those things are still in seller's favor for anybody who's thinking of selling. Again, I'm Craig Duran, the Duran Group, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll be in touch next month.